So, well, this is the calm after the storm. Thank you for coming. I know it's not easy to stay until the last talk, especially when it's aligning. And I hope you are not here just because the closing of the event is in this track instead of the second one. Some words about me. I'm Gorka Garay. I've been a proud checkouter in TicketBiz. I've been part of the checkout team where we take care of the whole checkout process and the payment. And this talk, I am going to talk about the payments, but we take care of everything. You can find us, the team and the whole engineering team in our site, and that's me in Twitter and LinkedIn. I'm not very active, but if you come up with that picture, it's probably me. Some words about TicketBiz. TicketBiz is a marketplace for tickets for almost any kind of event where fans can sell and buy tickets. We used to call ourselves the eBay for tickets, to explain it. And actually last year eBay bought us, and now we are part of their business. It's called StubHub. Last year we made 90 million euros, and well, just two graphics to show the growth that we've been having the last years. Number of transactions, almost 800,000 last year, and 1,800 gateways. I'll come to explain what a gateway is. Okay, just to be sure you are all awake and paying attention. How many payment methods do you know? Maybe 5? Can you think of 5? If I give you these 3? This one also? Yes. Okay, we have much more. And we have these are not all of them. I ran out of space in the slide. We have some more. There are lots of payment methods. When you think about a global platform like TicketBiz is, you don't only have to think of internationalization, but also localization, and having local payment methods for every country is really important. A payment method, as you may already know, is a way to pay, something that allows you to make a transaction. There are many, as you have seen. They have some particularities, different properties. I just wanted to mention a couple of them. There are some that are global, like Visa. You can pay with Visa almost worldwide and in any currency. Some of them are local, like support in Germany. Support doesn't make sense in other country than Germany. Some of them are online, where the payment itself starts and finishes online. And some of them are offline, that the process starts online in the site, but the payment ends in an offline way. Maybe going to a bank, to a store, somewhere physical, to finish the payment. We don't connect to every payment method. We use what we call integrators. There are companies that act as a facade to just connect to one API, to their API, so you can make transactions to all the payment methods behind them. So they are working on integrating all those payment methods for you, so it's easier to work with them. These are the ones we have been working with the last year. Even if this simplifies a lot, it's not 100% simplified. There are always differences between the integrators, not only because the APIs will accept different formats. Some accept XML, some others are more RESTful, like with JSON objects. But also the solution itself, the verbs you call the APIs for, the actions you need to perform on them are different. So it's not trivial to work with all of them. And gateway, it's a configuration to pay with a payment method through a payment integrator. So in our database, we have a table with records that define which payment method is going to be used to make a transaction behind a payment integrator. This is a typical integration. I have simplified this a lot. There is much to talk about this, but just to have an overview, the browser the buyer may click on a button to pay. That is going to ask your own server to ask the integrator for a URL. That URL is going to be loaded in a new page or an iframe, typically, if you want to put it inside your site, and you don't want the buyer to notice that something strange or something from a third party is being loaded. The payment itself happens in this integrator's page, and when the process finishes, the integrator is going to send the users back to what is called a callback URL that is given by you when starting the process. This callback doesn't ensure the final state of the payment. Maybe that only ensures that the process went well or went wrong. But the transaction itself needs to be reviewed by a fraud check, these kind of things. So the final result is going to be given by a notification, typically. It's a server-to-server communication where you have to handle the final state of the transaction. You need to always give an acknowledgement to that notification, even if you fail. Okay, so it's important to say, okay, I receive it, and now I'm going to handle it, and if I fail, it's going to be my problem, not yours. Okay. This is part of our website. These three gateways are shown to make payments. So maybe Visa is behind Adyen, maybe MasterCard is behind Mercado Pago. It's hidden. The user doesn't need to know about it. But if he or she press the button Visa, this is the page loaded from the integrator, because we cannot touch the information of the credit card data. Okay, we don't want the credit card data to be part of our server traffic for security reasons. Our solution, technical solution, with this grow I was talking about before, have been dealing with these problems that all the integrators don't behave the same. So we have, when we had the system stable, we refactored it, and we come up to this solution. We built an interface that defines these three typical methods that are needed for every integration, a payment engine, and we have different implementations for the integrators you are currently using. Maybe you may notice that there is global collect engine there, and before it was not there. It's because there was an binding, so it has remained there as internal code. We usually have these names for the engines. Sometimes we have a joke about telling the user to use Pay Plata or Mercado Plomo. This kind of jokes. I don't know if all of you got it, but if you don't, sorry for the bad joke. I just won a bet, so I have a free meal. The idea is to use these implementations by our own business logic, and so they are kept separate, and these implementations are loaded as Spring beans with a Spring feature that Grails gives us, and a service locator pattern to access them. And this allowed us to test the business logic of the treatment of the payments. Typically, if we had an OK response, what is going to happen with that response in our side, and leaving the integration apart from that. So it could be mocked and tested separately. This is the configuration we have. Well, we configure the endpoints of the APIs, credentials, access tokens, these kind of things. As you can see, we use an enum to ensure typos. And this configuration is going to be, you have the photo? Okay, this configuration is going to be run with this each loop. So we have we give the Spring how to create those beans for us. The configuration is given to the constructor as a parameter, and we ensure that the configuration is okay. There is no property missing, this kind of thing. So the application won't really start without a proper configuration of all the engines. And as I mentioned, the service locator pattern allows us to define an interface, and Spring is going to look for all the beans that implement that interface. We have 3 here, but I just want to mention the first one because it's the common one. The other is because we still have differences between the integrations. Okay, but with this we have Spring beans loaded as and accessible through the service locator. So how is it used? You can see the first line. We get the payment is a transaction object for us. Sorry, the method here. We have two dots there. But we are getting the gateway this payment was made through, and we get the engine of that configuration. What integration, what integrator is going to be used. So with that engine, that's the enum. We are calling the payment service factory to access the bean. So given the name, we are getting an implementation for that engine, for that integration. And everything is behind the payment engine interface. So, well, there's a line there still where we set up all the data that we are going to send, and it's just engine service.by with all that data, without knowing which integrator is really used. We think it's pretty straightforward. That's the interface with the methods available in the implementations. That's the contract. The integration logic itself, this is a pay method. It's part of. It was the smallest one to show. It's part of another type of integration that we are using, but is kept encapsulated without knowing anything about the business logic that uses it. So we are using typically an SDK to access the API endpoint and give a unified response. The response is part of the contract of the interface. So we are mapping the result of the SDK call, of the actual call, the HTTP call, to the API, to the integrator's API, and giving a unified response. So the business logic just has to be aware of this unified response and not all the different types of responses that the integrator give us. So with this separation, we could build, we pulled out the code into a plugin, so it was really separate and it was working. This is called Stormcore. It's a first step to a real API-based solution, so it's the first cut. The code is shared between it's still in the application, it's in Mystic, the application for the checkout that was having this code inside, and that is being pulled out of it. and the new project Storm that is going to be built with the plugin. Both will still work in the same time, just to be sure that pulling out the code from the plugin is quite easy to test, but having a new API to make the payments is quite critical. So we were using both solutions with a secret breaker. So if the call to the API fails, it's slow or whatever problem there could be there, we had a fallback to the previous code that is still there in Mystic. We upgraded the plugin to Grails 3 because we wanted Storm, to be fully Grails 3. So this is a work in progress. It's still not in production, but the idea is to build an application on the plugin and be a full RESTful API to make payments. So Mystic, the checkout, wouldn't need to know anything about these engines and the configuration, anything of that, and to be a microservice apart from that. I'm running out of time, so just to mention, if you want some questions, there is no demo because I don't have time, but you can try in production if you want to try this payment method, so you can buy the ticket. And StubHub.es is a starting point, but you can try almost any domain in the world. So that's it.